Representative Matt Marshall here. Got some updates over the last week. Please pardon the noise. There's a lot of construction going on down here right now. Last 10 days, we've had a lot of action out of the House. Some good, but unfortunately, mostly bad. One of the things I want to start with is House Bill 1321, which would limit National Guards from other states from assisting our state in times of emergency. This is troubling. As written, it sounds innocuous, like there's not a whole lot of issues with it. What it requires is that the governor grant approval before any National Guard enters our state. What we saw in North Carolina, what we've seen in the fires of Southern California, is that communications are often poor at best. And waiting for an approval from a very high authority can result in the loss of lives, more destruction of property. Really, we need to trust our neighboring National Guards and that they will be only coming in times of need and to assist our citizens. So I'm troubled with the passage of that bill. We also saw 1531. 1531 would enhance the county health departments in times of communicable diseases, basically if there's an outbreak. Unfortunately, it seems our state's learned nothing from the COVID response, and I am concerned that what we're doing by talking about best available science is leaving a very subjective standard in a place where persons are going to make decisions for everybody without really understanding what the decisions are. And unfortunately, it sets us up for another vaccine mandate. That's something I stood very strongly against on the floor, and I hope that our Senate sees it for what it is and can shut it down. We also had another permit to purchase bill pass through the House regarding firearms. I was very troubled when I heard that apparently the training that veterans receive is not sufficient to meet the state standard of a range day. And then when we discussed this on the floor, one of our Democrat colleagues specifically said that veterans need to go through this extra training and have a wait time because of the increase in veteran suicide. I took that personal. I take great issue with the fact that we do have veterans committing suicides, but claiming that they can't have their constitutional rights because of the things that we've subjected them to overseas in defense of our nation. I just think it's wrong as far as a violation of Article 1, Section 24 of the Washington Constitution and the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. So this is another bad bill. I plan to watch it get overturned in the courts, and that's really what needs to happen. House Bill 1296. This one was terrible. Just last year, Initiative 2081 passed after receiving over 450,000 signatures. It went through both the House and the Senate with a supermajority. We fast forward to now, and the House of Representatives, the Democrats, have decided to completely overturn Initiative 2081. The will of the people has been overturned. They didn't just overturn it. They overturned it in a manner that stripped away parents' rights, intentionally drove a wedge between parents and their children and the staff of the schools, and they also did it with an emergency clause. And to make it very clear, what an emergency clause does is it prevents you, the people, from having a say. If you want to run a referendum to repeal this law, you can't, because it's now an emergency. We even tried to put a referendum amendment on this bill saying that if this is going to pass the House and Senate, you get a say. You get to be the final vote to ratify this. And they shut this down, claiming it's an emergency. Somehow it's an emergency that they are unable to hide medical and mental health information from you, the parents. I don't want to say that this troubles me. This makes me angry. This is not the direction to go. We have record distrust in government, and all that we seem to see coming out of the House right now is more divide, more division between parents and their children, between people and the government. If we want to have a healthy nation, we need to make sure we listen to the people and we actually take the people's voice and we represent it here in the House behind me. And that's what I plan to do. There's a lot coming up. This weekend, I am going to be having my town hall. I would love to see you in Yelm at my town hall. I will keep you updated as we go forward. Thank you.